Okay, hello YouTube. Thanks for watching. So this video, I'm going to talk about generating graphics as easy as I possibly can teach you. You know, I can't guarantee it's going to be easy for everyone, but it is easy enough, and I think a lot of people are going to handle this. So people do ask me, what software do I use to generate some of these graphics? Now, obviously, I'm not going to show you, every possible scenario because I've got about over 400 graphics that I create here that I allow my team to have full access to. So you have complete access to these graphics that I generate. All right, and I'm going to show you how, I'm going to get you started basically, give you an idea of some of what I'm, how I'm generating some of these kind of graphics. But I'm going to particularly focus on this one because, this was popular. It was kind of, a cute post that I put out there on social media last Sunday, because I felt that this gave off a kind of a relaxed atmosphere. What I wanted to give off was a kind of a nice view of, something relaxed, something playful, something fun, cartoon graphic of, this was inspired by Peter Rabbit, kind of like a cute little family of rabbits. All right. And Mother Rabbit was spooning coffee into her mug. And I generated this using an AI image generator. All right, so basically the AI image generator pretty much gives me the base concept to work with. So let me show you what I started with. Okay, this is what I started with. All right, I basically sort of, the thing with AI, it's not about having the skill to create these various prompts. And I'm not going to give you any prompts because, I don't want people kind of like 100% copying what I do, but it's not about what kind of prompt you're creating. It's about how you're descriptive. So, think of it like, if you've got access to a good designer, you're coming up with a concept and you want the designer to create something. And let's say that this designer is sitting beside you. Okay. And they say to you, what do you want me to generate? What kind of image do you want me to create? And it's up to you to, articulate that. I mean, at the end of the day, all I really said was just create a nice, here's a simple prompt. And this wasn't the prompt that I used because, sometimes you need to be more descriptive. I was kind of, I personally use ChatGPT. All right, but the upgraded version of ChatGPT allows us to generate images. All right, so the free version of ChatGPT doesn't generate images, but the paid version does. However, you could use another tool such as like a free tool such as Bing. So if you go to bing.com, so basically it says Mummy Rabbit is in a cozy apron, spoons organic coffee into a mug from a plain white plastic cylindrical container at a rustic tree stump, while little rabbits play nearby in a charming woodland setting. Okay, so I could put just charming sort of cartoon style woodland setting. All right, so if I copy that prompt, okay, and I just let's say you go to a free image generator, which is not the software that I use, but you could just go to bing.com. Okay, so go to bing.com. All right, go to images. Okay, all right, and then you just click on create, and then you basically get free credits every day. You can get free credits. And I'm just going to paste that prompt into there and see what it comes up with. It may not come up with the ideal concept, but you can regenerate or whatever. Like I say, I don't use this particular AI tool, although I have used it in the past, but I prefer to use ChatGPT just because of my preference. But there are other, which is not, it's not bad. You could give it something else like, I don't know. Well, I'm not going to go into this in detail, but it's not ideal, but it's not bad. Well, for some people it might be perfect. This might be the style you're looking for. But anyway, ChatGPT, came up with where is it? It came up with this. Okay. You could give it more different prompts, like in the style of Pixar or in the style of Peter Rabbit, or make it more kind of 3D, give it more vibrant colors. It's up to you. Just clicking regenerate might come up with a better concept. So I got this, and I decided to create this. So I'm going to show you how I came up with this. Okay, so I use a software called photop.com. It's a free software. You don't need to download anything, don't need to install, don't need to pay for anything. You don't even need to create an account. So let's have a look to see what I've got here. Okay, so I'm going to just drag and drop this into the canvas. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go through the entire process. I'm going to zoom in. I'm just going to do a few edits using Photoshop. Sorry, this is not Photoshop. This is photop.com. It's free. It's totally free. So what we've got here is we've got the coffee pot. Okay, I wanted it plain white. All right, and I'm going to go to Live Good. I'm going to grab the pot here. I'm going to go to Photop. I'm going to paste that into there. Now it's not obviously the perfect kind of orientation. It's not, obviously this one here is slanted slightly, and I want to sort of somehow wrap this label around the pot. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. So you've got some nice tools. I'm just going to crop it. I'm going to get the label. You don't have to be so specific. Okay, make sure that you've selected the layer. Okay, so and I'm selected on the layer here. And then you can go Command and J, and then that just takes another layer. Okay, and I'm going to remove that, pull it down, and so I've now got this. I like to set the feathering. This allows a slight blurring. It gives us sort of a slight blend. Okay, so the feathering allows me to, when I crop it, when I cut it, it gives a slight blend. It's as you can see, if I zoom in slightly, you can see it's slightly faded. It fades out, which is the way I like it. You don't have to necessarily, but I'm going to show you how you blend it together with the background, and it might give it a better kind of look. All right, so I'm going to just set it roughly where I want it. Okay, and set it roughly the right size. Okay, so obviously it's not perfectly kind of, I need to wrap it around. Okay, so what we do is we go to Edit, and then we go to Free Transform, and then we go to Warp, and then we click down these options here, and I go to Cylinder, because that's the shape I want to give it, cylinder. So notice that we now have a more or less sort of roughly kind of a cylindrical, and you can just move things around, make it kind of like, center it perfectly, and make it the right shape, move things around a bit. Not sure if I'll just keep it at that. Maybe I'll just Command and then just pull things, make sure it's sort of in line. So that already doesn't look too bad, and in some cases you might want to keep it as that. It's up to you. But what I sometimes like to sort of try, sometimes it doesn't work very well, but if I just, make sure that, so if I select the two layers, so I've got the background layer and I've got the foreground layer selected, and I go to Edit, and I go to Auto Blend. Okay, and what that does, hold on a minute. Okay, to Auto Blend. Okay, and it blends it with the background. It doesn't only blend it, but it also kind of like, I don't know if it's AI technology built in or whatever it is, but it somehow senses the colors. Not only that, it seems to give that kind of environmental shine or environmental kind of look. So based on the environment. So if I just undo that, just to show you the difference. See, look at the difference, you see. So blending it makes it look quite quite cool. So now that's done. I'm going to show you how you put a kind of a logo on there. So let's go to the Live Good and just you know, notice you got two types of logos. You got the one with the white text, but you've also got the one with the black text. So I'm going to grab the one with the black. Okay, and then because we're putting it on a white background, I'm just going to size it. Now you may feel it's not necessary, but sometimes, you know, when you've got something like a kind of a cylindrical shape on the coffee cup, you might feel that, you know, it might make it a little better if you just kind of like, you know, change the orientation, or, you know, you might also want to kind of free transform, warp it, and then go to style, and then just use the custom just to sort of slightly change the kind of shape of the logo so that it looks like it's wrapped around the cup. So you can use the rim of the cup as a kind of a guide so that you're getting the shape a little bit better. So, you know, already that doesn't look too bad. Another thing you can do is you can select it, and then you can go to this little menu here, and I like to use the multiply. Sometimes multiply doesn't work very well, but with a light environment it works fine, and multiply just allows it to kind of blend a little bit better. You know, there are other options. You know, that doesn't work very well. Overlay, not too well, not ideal, but in this particular scenario, because of the lighting, multiply seems to work better. But because it's a cartoon graphic, you want it slightly sort of vivid. But anyway, I'm not sure what else I can't remember what else I did, but let me just check. Oh yeah, I put the I put the logo on her apron. But, you know, I mean, for now, that's, you know, you could put the logo on the apron in a similar sort of way as I showed you there, by, you know, just wrapping it around her apron slightly and using, you know, multiply. But anyway, that just gives you an idea of how to, you know, play around with images, make things look quite cool, and, you know, brand it to whatever you're promoting. You know, obviously in my case, I'm promoting Live Good, and that's why, you know, I come up with you know, some of these nice images that I've created. You know, and I pretty much, you know, a lot of these I create in a similar sort of way. I just start with a concept using AI, and I get the AI to generate the concept, and then I have something to work with, and then I put things in the scene, and I just learn a little bit of, you know, Photo P, which is the software here. I learn some tricks. You know, I'm not a professional. I don't have any formal training or knowledge about it, and there's probably some people who are watching this video who are much more experienced than me. And I sometimes get messages from people who said, you know, I noticed in your video you did it like this, but you might find this easier to do it like this. And I really welcome that, because, you know, I am learning, and I'm passionate about you know, the creative side. All right. I think a lot of people in this industry are very, you know, they're very rushed. They haven't got time to do stuff. They want everything done for them. But sometimes, you know, you want to enjoy the process. You know, I love, you know, doing this. There are key reasons why I like doing what I do. I like to promote businesses. I'm in network marketing. But that's not the only reason. You know, I'm not just here to make money. I'm here because I love the creativity. I love to support people. I love to share what I do. I don't think I would be in network marketing if it was all just about money. I'm sorry to say it, but, you know, I think it would be too boring. There are so many other ways to make money, you know, if that was the only way. But I love network marketing because of the creativity. I love to be able to share what I can put out there. And I love the fact that network marketing allows me not only to be creative, but it also allows me to support. And by being a supporter. And people call me a leader. I don't see that I'm a leader. I'm a community member. I like to put my kind of flair and essence into the community, and hopefully others can do other things. I'm not very good at Zoom calls. I'm not very good at presentations. We don't all have to be good at everything, and that's the beauty of network marketing, is that I need to lean on other people for help, and in other areas that I struggle with, because I'm an introvert. I am actually very shy. I like a peaceful life. I'm not really into the fast cars or the flashy money or whatever. Although I sometimes put that out there as graphics, but I'm just being creative. I understand that there are people out there that resonate with that kind of thing. But truthfully, my life here in Japan is peaceful. And I'm looking to have a peaceful life. I want to go back to the UK sometimes. I love the Cotswolds. I love spending time with my mother. I love nature. I love my walks in the morning. I love listening to classical music, and I love a cozy life. So if it was all about just the money side of network marketing, it would be very boring as far as I was concerned. So there has to be other areas you need to put your flair into to enjoy what you do. So this is just one area that I enjoy. So I do put a lot of time and effort into it, and I like doing it. And if people like it, I'm glad. If people don't like it, you don't need to. I'm not your guy. There's so many other people you can resonate with. You can get support from people who you like. That's the great thing about network marketing. There's always somebody in the upline that can support you in areas that that you like. All right, that you need help with. All right. Anyway, I know this video is not for everyone, but I hope it helps. Okay, because I do get asked. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Give me a like, subscribe to my channel, help me and support my channel. That really helps. And I like putting up these training videos. Okay, bye for now, and chat soon.